Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about the views using the transact SQL. I've already given the details about what the views are in the other video that uses the SQL Server Management Studio. If you want to go through that, you can go through that thing. Now I am going to directly start using the transact SQL for creating views. Okay, now the first thing I am going to do is going to use the post database. I'm going to select execute and I am going to create a view. Okay, this is a view. Create view, author, title, publisher, that's the view name. As select DBO, author DBO is the database owner, authors.fuf name, and this is the schema name, this is the table name, this is the field name. Okay, it is created, this has been created in the schema as of a DBO default, because the schema was not specified as such while creating the table. Okay, when you do not specify the schema name, the SQL Server will use the DBO as a schema. DBO stands for database owner. Okay, this is a SQL statement with a join, nothing much different, only it has been selected some number of the fields, number of the columns that has been selected, and we are going to put this SQL statement into a statement called create views, and it will create a view for us. Okay, let's run this statement, transact SQL statement, and then we are actually have created a view. Okay, this command has been executed and it's completely successful. Okay, now I have created a view with the name author, title, publisher. I can select from that view. I can select with the where clause also. I can select as I usually go and select in a table. Okay, it shows me there are 25 rows. Now remember, in SQL, when I created a view, I created with the multiple tables. This view cannot be updated because it has multiple tables. You can update only one table on a view. You cannot update a multiple table on a view. Of course, there is a way around by using the instead of trigger, okay, and doing the multiple update, but that is a little bit more complex. Right now, this is a simple, straightforward view that we have created. Now, let's go and actually check it out. Select from the star. Or okay, we have done this thing. Now suppose if I wanted to actually check the text of the file, so this is the option. This is a system stored procedure that says sp help text and the view name. What happens is this will give you the text of the view that was created. Okay, there we are, and this is how the view is created. Okay, it shows you the SQL syntax for the create view. There is other way also, you can go and actually check it out. This is another way using the SQL module. Okay, here is this one is another way. This is using the system's view. Let's go and execute it, and again it's going to give the same thing. It's easier to do with the help text. Okay, then again there is, if you wanted to get the object ID of the view, you can specify with the get the object ID of the view. It will give you the object ID of the view. There we are. And suppose if you wanted to get the object definition also, there are many ways or different ways of getting the SQL of the how the view was created. Okay, now let's go and again check it with, I've shown it this thing to you that this can be also done with the SPA. Okay, now suppose if I wanted to check the view, I can always use this SPL, which we use it with the table, and it will give us the whole details of the view, whatever it has into it. No identity, other things like that, it is going to give us to. Now let's move to the Or suppose if you actually if there was a column name data column type that is actually had a character of 10 and it was changed to 15 or something. Okay, the base table is beneath the what you call view. The view is just an SQL code, nothing but an SQL code except for the indexed view. It doesn't contain any data, it doesn't actually duplicate any data, it's just an SQL code for the SQL code that is stored, that's it, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, now suppose if you have changed in the table there has been changes, the column size has been changed. So whenever you are when know that there has been a change, you can actually update your views by saying sp refresh views, provided that this was one of the now this has been refreshed. Okay, let's go and check it out. Here it says the command has been successfully completed. Okay, now it has refreshed whatever that table column has been changed into the view, and now it will be shown into the view as well. Now let's go and check it out with the refresh SQL module. Again, this will actually refresh your code, the SQL code that is there. This can be used with the views as well as the functions, as well as user defined functions, stored procedures, triggers. Okay, this will only refresh your SQL module. Okay, but remember one thing, let's run this thing. Whenever you are using the refresh view or refresh SQL mode, remember these views should not be schema binding. If they are schema binding, then the problem will be that it will give you unpredictable results. This cannot be used with the schema binding views. Okay, now how do I drop a view? I can drop a view using a drop view. There's another view that is coming up. Okay, this is how you drop a view, but I'm not going to execute this because that view has already been dropped. Okay, now let's create one more view. Okay, and here we go, executed it. I created a view, the view is there. Okay, now suppose I wanted to alter the view. Instead of saying for all the state, I wanted just for the state of the California only, that is for CA. So I go and say alter, and I add a where clause to the state. The state equals to for CA, and the view has been altered. This is how you use the alter statement. If you drop the view and recreate it, all the permission with the view would be gone. So remember that it's better to alter a view and rather than drop and recreate a view. Let's move to the next option. Okay, you can always again run this SQL statement to check from what are the data that is coming from that view. Here we have all for the CA. Okay, now let's go and actually insert some records into this view. Okay, inserting the record or inserting the data into the view, inserting a row into the view. Let's go and execute it, one of them. Okay, what happens is that once I execute, cannot insert a null column in the contract, because when I created this view there was one column that was null, that was not null. Okay, whenever you create a view, you should always see to it that all the columns that are not null are included into view, or else the view will not actually allow you to insert a row. Though this is a single table update, but still it failed because that there is one column that is a contract that is not inserted into this that was not used to create this view, and that is creating a problem because it has a not null option applicable to it. Means that column has to be inserted into view or it will fail, or the insert would fail. Now let's go and actually change the okay, let's go and actually show it to you how it is there in the help authors. Here we are. This is how actually you get the data for the table. Okay, and you can see here this is the contract. This is specified for the null, it says no. Okay, this is the nullable field. Now let's go and alter the view again, and I will add a contract field to the where the state is contract field, and I will rerun this query, rerun this view SQL, and it should actually recreate the. Here we are. Now I think so we should be able to insert the rows. Okay, now let's go and insert some rows here. Okay, there we are. Okay, it says that you cannot insert a duplicate row. Okay, so far so good, not a problem with us, because this row has been already been inserted. We will use some other column, other key, and we will re-execute this statement. Let's execute the statement. And there we are. We have inserted the row. Okay, now if I want, I can go and select it from the DVOs and check it out. Here's it. There is our row that says here we are. Okay, that has been inserted. Okay, now let's insert a row with a different name, with a different this thing. Now I am going to insert this row, which is for the state of New York, but I have created a view for the state of California only. What happens? Let's see. Run this statement. The row has got inserted. Okay, now what happens is, if I select from the this thing, this looks absurd because the view is based upon the CA, so that is state for California, means that row will not show up anywhere. Okay, now I cannot say this thing. Okay, let's go and check it out whether the row was inserted or not. Let's execute this statement. As you can see, because the view is for the state for CA, it has filtered out that NY, that was for the New York. But if you go and check it in the table, that record do exist, but only it disappears because your view is based upon the state of CA. But how did it get inserted in the first place? I'll come to it later. Okay, and how to prevent it. Now let's go and check it on the table. Okay, and there we have the record that has been inserted. Here we have which should not have been inserted. Okay, from the view, but how to prevent that thing, we'll come to it later.